by the way, we're not black. How about that? We're not black, nigga. We're Indian. Yeah. We're Native American. Yeah. How many of y'all grandmothers got Indian in your family? Yeah. I'm Indian. Wait a second, but what happened to the Indians? We black. Show me black on the planet. We're not black, nigga. We're Indian. Yeah. We're Native American.
Why are you putting Native Americans in here? Why isn't this just for black people?
Well, black people are Native Americans. You know, we've had, you know, a lot of proof that, you know, some of us started here in this land. Everybody wasn't brought over from Africa. So, you know, we have to, like you say, unpack all of that and try to, you know, find the true lineage of people in this country, because some, you know, I used to tease family members who would say, you know, I got a little Indian in me. I would think they didn't want to be all the way black. But when I really do the research, a lot of them did have a little Indian in them. So, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, we want to be counted on all levels, not just, you know, through slave ships. Like I said, you know, we were here before Columbus. So a lot of us. And so we want to make sure that's included and not excluded.
I am not a slave. I was born to slide. I am not afraid. Hop about the K. Oh yeah, free to God. They went out of state. I'm a child of God. I do not belong to the United States. For Black History, tell Uncle Sam he can catch a fade. I went to hell, I mean school, graduated at the top of my class. Still never thought I was over my peers. We did that time together 12 years. Ain't that some movie? I think that it is. They won't control me, I'm really a member. I traveled that road, I came back with the jewels for 'em. When I pull up, they peep how the roof gone. We some dog killers, won't true bones. Know we all spit on, we supreme. Somewhere I read a nigga had a dream.
You don't have to try to be something you're not. God, I can't stand this.
Trying to be something I'm not? Trying to be proud of my African heritage? If that's being something I'm not, then fine.
My grandmother was a full-blooded Iroquois. My grandfather was a black from a long line of journeymen who lived in Connecticut since the establishment of the colonies. My father was a Bajan who came to this country a cabin boy in a merchant marina.
I know all of that, Mama.
Then know this. I am alive because of the blood of a people who never scraped or begged or apologized for what they were. They asked only one thing of this world: to be allowed to be. I gave you my grandmother's name, a woman who bore 9 children and educated them all. Who held off 6 white men with a shotgun when they tried to drag one of her sons off to jail for not knowing his place. And you had to reach into an African dictionary to find a name that would make you proud.
I was born black, I live black, and I'm gonna die probably because some cracker that knows I'm black better than you, nigga, is probably gonna put a bullet in the back of my head.
This is the remix. My father was raised in the era when black niggas couldn't claim Native American.
Many know about slavery, but few discuss paper genocide. We did not all come from Africa, and most of us have Aboriginal roots that were stripped away due to reclassification and miseducation. As a native Black American and a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation, I understand the importance of tracing your lineage. If you want to learn how to trace your genealogy and apply for tribal citizenship, go to nativeblackancestry.com to schedule a consultation.
They don't want you to remember this. You not no slave, you indigenous. Fuck how they painted them Indians. You went to war with the French and the British, man. Quite frankly, you was kings, Merovingians. They took the women and men, made them prisoners, raised up the children to worship their images, set up a lab to the genes and they mixed them, and this shit get way deeper than your pigment.
Oh, damn, hold on. I was on mute there. Let me try that again, y'all. Let me try that again. This is live TV after all. Shout out to the folks watching on YouTube. Shout out to the folks watching on TikTok. Make sure to subscribe, follow, tap the screen, hit the like button, all that good stuff. We had somebody on the TikTok side of things named Johnny that was asking to be brought up. So, Johnny, we'll see if you want to join the panel. Guys, make sure to check out my website, nativeblackancestry.com. I built it out with tons of historical resources and references for those folks that need assistance with genealogy research. This is a live call-in show. I do these from time to time. I allow folks to pick my brain, ask any questions about American Indian history, culture, heritage, customs, anything in between, really. Also, for the detractors, the contrarian folks, those that think that they can dictate lineage and heritage to us, well, this is also an opportunity for them to call in and say with the chest. Let us know how you think that we're all from Africa and we're just pretending to be Indians and yada, 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 yada. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to see if any of you guys have sources to cite. Lord knows it's few and far in between when you guys actually call in with some sources to cite. But again, for the folks who are not familiar with me and my work, my name is Mike. I'm a genealogist, digital archivist, card-carrying member of the Muskogee Creek Nation, descendant of the Chief Justice of the Creek Nation, Thomas Jefferson Adams Harjo. We got a long-running history here. We have a long-running legacy of standing up to racial reclassification, imperialism. I really just not taking no shit, if I can speak frankly. Black Mamba says they scared Mike. Hey. We'll see if anybody has a testicular fortitude to call in and challenge me on who me and my people are. We do get some folks from time to time who have the nerve, believe it or not. We do get some folks from time to time. Before we get too deep into this, let me send out some invites real quick to the folks watching on TikTok. Let me see if anybody wants to catch up, chop it up, tap in. I know I haven't been live on TikTok for a long time. For the folks watching on TikTok, check me out on YouTube. That's where I do most of my content. The name of my YouTube channel is Mike TV. Just type in Mike TV, it'll pop right up. You can't miss it. But real quick, let me send some invites out to the folks on TikTok. I don't care if you're familiar with me and my work and you just want to chop it up, or if it's your first time and you have some general questions about genealogy research, or maybe you're foreign to our community and you just want to know what all this stuff is on social media about these Black folks claiming to be Indians. I mean, I'll fill you in. I know it is a growing movement. And really, this is history, this is culture, this is legacy. Some would say it's not a movement, but I would have to disagree. It is a movement. The fact that more of our people are finally waking up to this information and reversing decades, centuries long of propaganda and reclassification, I mean, that is a movement. Shout out to Yvette over on YouTube. Thank you for tapping in. And guys, actually, while we wait to see if we have any folks that want to call in, let me catch you up on a very, very interesting live caller that we had not too long ago. This one will really make you laugh. The next person we now have is American Indian. When I bring you up, let us know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind.
Okay, I didn't hear your last part. It cut off.
Oh, I said, where are you calling in from and what's on your mind?
I'm from Michigan, and I was just trying to join in on the conversation. That's all.
Okay, let us know what's on your mind.
I just been watching you for a while. I follow your YouTube, just wanted to come up and, show my support,
Yeah, well, I appreciate the support. Thanks for tuning in. Do you have any statements or any questions or anything for us?
I mean, we know that we know who we are, hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. We know who we are, we're slow, we're waking up slowly, but we're almost there, I would say. And it's almost time. That's about it.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in, brother. I appreciate you. Next up, we've got Tito. Tito, let us know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind.
Michigan. And what
Tito going once?
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, your microphone's kind of bad. Where are you calling in from, Tito?
I'm from Michigan also.
Okay, and what's on your mind? Yeah, it's still kind of faint, but we can hear you.
All right, hold on. Let me see if I can. Just a second.
All right. Well, while we wait for Tito to get his audio together, we've got another guest backstage. Let me see who this is. Ashra Da. When I bring you up, let us know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind.
Okay, you better?
Oh, well, you know what? Ashra, sit tight for just a second. Tito has fixed his microphone. Tito, go ahead. You have the floor. Where are you calling in from?
Okay. Yeah, I'm from Michigan also. And I'm just genuinely, I'm asking. I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I just want to know where I'm hearing a lot of this information that you're bringing up. But, you know, there are speech patterns, African speech patterns that a lot of Black Americans have. There's lots of documentation on the so-called natives, like you say, that have been here for thousands of years. And I mean, there are people down, in the southern part of the Americas that there are like 27 or more native languages that they're still speaking. So where does that all come from?
What is your question?
Well, I'm proving. I mean, you guys are saying that.
No. You said you're proving something. What are you proving?
I'm bringing up information on.
No, sir. Time out. You literally just said you're proving something. What are you attempting to prove? Go ahead, unmute yourself.
I'm trying to prove that. Let me see if I understand, first of all.
No, it's not no. I'm trying to prove. And then when I ask you what you're trying to prove, wait a minute, let me understand. No, you came up here saying you're trying to prove something. What are you trying to prove, Tito? Go ahead, unmute yourself.
That you're not native or indigenous to the Americas.
Thank you. So you're up here to try to prove that we are not indigenous to America. Thank you. I got it. Well, first question for you, Tito, before we get into your statements. Where's your family from originally?
Southwest America, United States, and in Mexico.
Wait. Is your family indigenous to the Southwest United States and Mexico, or did they migrate from another country?
Indigenous.
Oh, so we're not indigenous, but you're indigenous.
Been here thousands of years.
Oh, okay, I got it. And what tribe are we talking about?
Detribalized.
Oh, so you've been detribalized.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, I'm so confused now. Is this the Twilight Zone? He's claiming that he descends from detribalized indigenous communities, but we're not really indigenous. I guess he's the only one that can descend from detribalized indigenous communities, right? Tito is a special person because Tito can identify as indigenous, not a member of any nation. He claims he's detribalized. Nobody bats an eye. No one's challenging him on that. But when we come up here and kick game and show resources to cite our indigeneity, he's coming up here trying to prove that we're not indigenous. This is just strange behavior. This is just strange.
That's what I'm asking.
Tito, stop interrupting. You're not asking anything. You made a statement and you made a claim and you said that you're here to prove that we're not indigenous. So now you have the floor. Prove that we're not indigenous. The first point you made is you said that there's lots of documentation on natives that have been here for thousands of. No, and I'm sorry, I misspoke. Your first point was you said something about African speech patterns. Let's start there. Can you name the African speech pattern that you claim that we have, Tito?
Well, there's a tonal rhythm.
So what is the tonal rhythm that we share with Africans? His Wi-Fi is not Wi-Fi, and guys, he just okay, he's back. What's the tonal rhythm that you think we share with Africans? Oh, he's gone again, guys. I don't know what's happening with his Wi-Fi. We'll give him one last chance. He keeps fading in and out. Tito, are you there? And he's gone again. Guys, we're not going to play these games. Bye, Tito. Bye. Good Lord. With a name like Tito, I guess he's one of these Latin Americans. And the Latin American wants to claim indigenous. He didn't say nothing about that Spanish conquistador heritage. He didn't say nothing about that African slave admixture. but he's indigenous and we're not. And his proof that we're not indigenous is African speech patterns, African tonal patterns. Motherfucker, we don't speak like no Africans. You speak just like we speak. So do you have African tonal patterns, Tito? And I think this is why he fled the stage, because these folks are used to getting on panels and just talking out their ass, just making a bunch of claims and having nobody challenge them on it. He then said that there's lots of documentation that natives have been here for thousands of years. Notice how he didn't name a single document. But me and Tyrone just went through 2 books. I showed Spanish conquistador journals from the 1600s. I showed newspaper clippings from the 1800s. I showed a phototype of Amet, Louisiana, Black Choctaw women to show the phenotype of the Choctaw at that time, but we're not indigenous because Tito says so. Okay, this is pathetic. Tyrone, go ahead and give us some remarks, and then we're going to... I mean, is it pathetic, guys, or is it pathetic, guys? I mean, I'm just out here roaming the land like a lone warrior, like a Ronin, just seeking a worthy duel. Like, can anybody give me a good... I'll beg. Can somebody please call in and like debate me and give me a challenge? Like, oh no, Mike, you're wrong. You're not Indian. You're from Africa. Look, I've got this document here and this census there. And I mean, cite some sources. Let's get into it. They don't really want no problems. They can't handle the smoke. And guys, if there's anybody new to the broadcast, again, check out my website, nativeblackancestry.com. I built it out with tons of historical references. If you don't know, I just published my first book, Reclassified: 5 Centuries of Paper Genocide, How Race Was Used to Erase Native Black Americans, 1492 to 2025. Check it out, guys. This goes century by century, showing you with firsthand accounts, quotes, sources cited, missionaries, federal agents, Indian agents, and everything in between. Definitely make sure to check out the book. Right now, I've got it for sale on my website as an ebook. I'm going to be releasing a hardcover copy within like the next 2 months. Give me a couple months. Got to finalize some things. And also, guys, if you don't know, I just launched a hidden heritage course. On the last broadcast, we shared the foreword from Chief Sekou. And actually, I want to do something special for everybody who's watching live right now. Let me actually get into the course real quick and just give you a quick freebie. Some believe that the game is meant to be sold and not told. I'll drop some free gems on you. Let me give you guys a free module from the course. Not a module, I misspoke. A module is comprised of several videos. Let me just give you one brief video within a module so you can get a little taste as to some of the history that we're going to be diving into. Give me just a moment while I get this queued up. And guys, don't worry. I know the course is $199. Some folks ain't got it like that. Times are tough. Economy is rough. I also accept Afterpay, pay later. There's payment options. You can break it up into small monthly payments if need be. I'm a man of the people. I always give you guys flexible payment options because I really want to make this course as accessible to as many people as possible. I took the time out, the sweat equity to build this course because our people need it. And nobody's done it and nobody's doing it. Help me out, chat. We got folks watching on TikTok. We got folks watching on YouTube. Help me out. Have you guys ever heard of a course discussing the hidden heritage of Native Black Americans? I haven't. I'd love to be wrong. I pray to God somebody on TikTok or someone on YouTube can say, hey, no, Mike, I actually know this content creator. He has this course over here on this website. You can check it out. I really pray we can have at least 1 or 2 people say, no, Mike, actually, this person over here has a course on Black indigenous heritage, racial reclassification, paper genocide, Mike. You're wrong. Check it out. Is there anybody, guys? Targeted Chaos over on TikTok says no. Damn. That's why I did it. That's why I did it. Amora says nobody. That's why I had to do it. I'm not the only Black person online talking about our hidden heritage and paper genocide, but God damn it, I'm the only one to put in the time to build a course for you that you can go through at your own pace. It also has study material, research guides. This is something that even a child can go through. Actually, I was inspired to do the course because I had a couple people who ran, what do they call it? Homeschooling co-ops. I had two people reach out, two separate homeschooling co-ops, and they were like, yo, Mike, like, I love your content on YouTube, but sometimes you be cutting up, you know, you say some curse words and stuff. Do you have any like PG, no curse word related content on the history and the heritage? And I said, you know what, let me just sit down and build a course. Let me sit down and take the knowledge that I've amassed over the years and put it into video modules. In total, it comes out to over 3.5 hours of content. Come on, y'all. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Tyrone says, why your screen up high and we want to get on the panel, B? I don't see anybody requesting to join on TikTok right now. We've also got a phone number above my head that folks can call in. Yeah, I don't see anybody backstage. But here, guys, check out a video from one of the modules, just so you can get a little taste. Just to give you a little taste. Before the word civilization ever left a European mouth, there were cities right here. Towering mounds, stone pyramids aligned with the stars. Long before 1492, this hemisphere was the world's center of engineering, mathematics, and spiritual science. Yet today, most of us drive or walk on top of those cities without ever knowing they're there. I'm Mike, and in this first lesson of Hidden Heritage, we start where every honest origin story must begin, with the builders. The men and women who shaped the land into sacred geometry long before Columbus, long before the colonies, long before the concept of race. Archaeologists have confirmed over 2,000 to 3,000 pyramid and mound structures across the Americas, from Mexico to Mississippi. Africa, by comparison, has around 300. That's not to diminish Africa. It's to remind the world that pyramid culture reached its highest expression here. The Mississippian, Mayan, Olmec, Zapotec, and Aztec builders shared a single sacred blueprint, a staircase to the heavens, a womb of the earth, and an altar of renewal. Each pyramid wasn't just architecture, it was a calendar, a map, and a temple all in one. The Great Pyramid of Cholula in Mexico, the largest pyramid by volume on earth, is hidden beneath a Spanish church built in the 1500s. That single act tells you everything about colonization. Don't destroy the temple, just crown it with your own religion and pretend the old one never existed. Here in the United States, cities like Philadelphia, Springfield, and St. Louis sit atop ancient mound fields. The Philadelphia Museum of Art itself rests on what locals once called a truncated pyramid. Governments didn't merely ignore these structures, they built over them. These weren't strangers from a lost continent. They were the ancestors of the same southeastern peoples later labeled Creek, Choctaw, Yamasee, and Wale. Their descendants are the native Black Americans, the ones who carried the builders' bloodline into the present. When you see stepped mounds in Georgia or Alabama, you're looking at the architectural DNA of the same people who would later be reclassified as Negro or colored. Colonial documents prove it. Explorers repeatedly describe the inhabitants as copper-colored, dark brown, even black as Ethiopians. Spanish chroniclers called them negros de terras, blacks of the land, to distinguish them from the negros de Guinea, Africans brought later through the Atlantic trade. That linguistic divide exposes a truth we were never taught. The first dark-skinned people Europeans encountered in the Americas were indigenous, not imported. Each mound aligned with solstices, equinoxes, and river currents. They measured time through shadow and sound and encoded sacred mathematics long before the invention of the modern compass. From the Olmec heartland to the Mississippi Delta, builders used magnetic basalt, crystal quartz, and cardinal precision. They were scientists, astronomers, and priests combined. proof that intellect and spirituality were never separate in our world. That union of science and spirit is what colonization sought to sever. By the 1500s and the 1600s, European cartographers began drawing, or rather redrawing, maps and renaming cities. Mound complexes became hills. Temples became forts. The Smithsonian and early state surveyors later reclassified the mounds as works of a lost race, divorcing living native Black communities from their own architecture. That's not archaeology. That's paper genocide in stone. But even when the structures were buried, the knowledge survived. Our ancestors encoded it in ceremony, in the stomp dance, the stickball game, the rhythm of the drum, the planting calendar, and the smoke rising from cedar and copal. Every act of alignment was a continuation of pyramid science. The geometry became culture. So before we ever speak of colonization, slavery, or reclassification, we honor what existed, a vast connected world of native Black builders who mastered earth, sky, and spirit. When you understand that foundation, every later chapter from conquest to erasure makes sense, because you can't erase what was never acknowledged. You can only cover it up, like a church on top of a pyramid. And that's where we begin. In our next lesson, Forgotten Voyages, we'll trace the outsiders who arrived before Columbus, the Vikings, the Moors, the Knights Templar, and the indigenous powers who received them. Stay with me. We're just starting to uncover the oldest truth on this continent. All right, y'all, give me some feedback. I know that was just a little taste. I know that was a little taste of the course. Okay, that was just a little Costco sample. But let me know what you think, y'all. Let me know. Roots That Remember over on TikTok says, I'm sold. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Shout out to Yvette over on YouTube. Yvette says, I'm now watching on YouTube, bigger screen TV. Mike, you are so concise and easy to understand. Well, thank you, Yvette. I aim to make this history engaging, entertaining, easy to follow along. So I really appreciate that comment. Shout out to We Are Beauty 275, who just became a member over on YouTube. I appreciate the support. Thank you very much. Also, shout out to the super chat that just came through from who is this? Let me blow up my screen so I can read this. My bad, y'all. Let me blow up the screen. Reagan, I'm gonna just call you R. I'm probably gonna butcher your name. Shout out to R. Thank you for the super chat. R says, I'm a homeschooler as well. Would we have lifetime access to the content and new changes to the course if we purchase? Yes, and that's actually the biggest benefit. Right now, this course is on sale for $199. Guys, this is like, what you have access to for $199 is already over 3 hours of video module course material. But guys, like, this course is like 3% of what this course is going to be over the next few months. I'm actually building a full collegiate level course. So yes, people like you that become a student early on, you guys get grandfathered in. So when the course expands and I add more lessons and more modules, you never have to pay an increased rate ever again. You're already locked in. Of course, there's other ways for you to continue to show your support. You know, pick up a copy of the new book or book a consultation with me if you need assistance with genealogy research. But yes, people who become students are grandfathered in and get all course expansions at no extra cost. So thank you for asking that question. And also for folks who say, well, damn, Mike, $199, that's a little bit outside of my budget right now. I do offer payment plans. So I've got Affirm through the website. I've got Pay Later, Cash App, PayPal. So you guys can break that down into monthly payments of $20, $50, $100, whatever you like. Whatever you like. And shout out to Targeted Chaos. I appreciate the galaxy. And shout out to everybody else on TikTok who's given the gifts. I'm really bad at responding to the gifts on TikTok. I got to get better. Thank you for that. Roots That Remember says, I want to see the course. Well, hey, here, I gave you guys a little sample. If you want to check out the course in length or enroll, you can go to nativeblackancestry.com, hover over the More tab, and click on Hidden Heritage Course. Or right here on the homepage of nativeblackancestry.com, if you just scroll down all the way to the bottom, it's going to say Hidden Heritage Crafts Course, and you just click Enroll in the course, and it'll take you to the course page. But real quick for the folks who would like to know what else is in the course. And shout out to the Black Mamba. Black Mamba says that was great. Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate it. For the folks who would like to see what other lesson plans are in the course, check it out. So we start off with the foreword from Chief Sekou of the Yamasi tribe. And then the first section is called The Beginning. We do the first video, The Builders of the Americas, which is the video you just saw. We then follow that up with Hebrew America and the meaning of Indian. We're getting into the real etymology of the word Indian. Then we get into biological terrorism, basically how them folks in Europe was getting down, historically speaking. I give you guys a disclaimer, the objections you were trained to ask, followed by a second disclaimer, methodology declaration. And this is a good one. I go into the 5 Ds of colonization. Diplomacy, starting with the Forgotten Voyages, Vikings, Moors, and Knights Templars. The second D of colonization from diplomacy is doctrine as reclassification. Then we get into deception, then displacement, and finally domination. Those are the 5 Ds of colonization. After that, we discuss reclamation. Then I break down the colonization playbook, highlighting this global pattern suppression, how what was done to our indigenous ancestors in the Americas was not exclusive to us. That is what the British and other European factions did to indigenous communities around the world. Whether we're talking about the British East India Company in India, like Hindustan, and what they did to those people, or what the Spanish conquistadors did to the Filipino tribes. I mean, guys, this is a global playbook. I then break down the creation of Latin America, the colonization timeline, all the way from 1492, how quote unquote Latin America was colonized and taken by force. Then we go into wars of rebellion, the conflicts that schools won't teach you about. I pull up a whole timeline, taking you from the first Carolina slave revolt in 1680 all the way to the Civil War, 1861. We then go into census manipulation, counting the uncounted, the sacred game, where we talk about athleticism as ancestral memory. Most people don't know that we go so hard in the paint when it comes to rubber ball games because our ancestors literally invented rubber balls to begin with. Shout out to the Olmecs. Come on. Basketball, football, guys, this is in us. They saw us playing sports similar to this upon their arrival. The only thing is they took it and monetized it and built billion-dollar franchises off of our backs. Then we go into the sacred sound, from mounds to microphones, talking about our spiritual and musical prowess and how that ties all the way back to our indigenous roots. Then we go into integration as infiltration, talking about the civil rights era and how integration really negatively impacted our community, much greater than any positive benefit we saw from it. Then we go into secretism as survival, the indigenous roots of American voodoo, and then we follow that up with the conclusion. Again, this course is $199. You can do payment plan options. This is over 3 hours of content. And if you become a student of the course right now at the $199 level, you get locked into all future course expansions at no extra cost. So definitely make sure to check out the course and get in early on. Shout out to Aquila I over on YouTube coming in with a super chat. It says fire. Appreciate it. CJ says that was fire. Thank you. Oh, I actually said your name right. All right, cool. I think I might mess it up the second time. Okay, I'm gonna stick to R. Dark Heart says it was good. Thank you for the support. We Are Beauty says thank you. I've been watching your channel for a while now. Just to let you know, I love the receipts. Well, hey, I appreciate you tuning in. Ocio to the chat. Nice to see you guys. CJ says knowledge of self. Absolutely. And guys, we are going to open up the phone lines again in just a moment. I know we have some folks impatient as hell blowing up the phone line while us in the middle of playing that module. I mean, come on now. Come on. Let me see what the folks on TikTok are talking about real quick before we bring up some callers. Black Mamba says that's a great price. Cool. I appreciate the feedback. Morris says I like the images from within the course. Hey, you guys make sure to tap in with the course. And also for the folks who say, hey, Mike, even with a payment plan, $199 is outside of my budget. I mean, I did just publish a new book. It's only $40, $47, over 100 pages, going century by century on the racial reclassification, all sources cited, straight from our colonizers, straight from our oppressors. And actually, in a minute, I'll dive into this book a little bit and drop some gems from the book. Maybe we'll have the audience vote on a chapter they want me to read, or we'll skim through some sources in the appendix. But let's go ahead and officially open up the phone lines. 980 number. You were blowing me up. I'm really eager to see what you got to say. 980 number. The person who was calling with a 980 number. The phone lines are now open. Go ahead and call in. Let's see what's on your mind. And while we wait to see if Mr. 980 wants to call in, let me get caught up with the chat, y'all. Let me get caught up with the chat. We're going to give him 60 seconds to call in. Okay, there we go.
Call from
Tyron Leon.
And while we wait to see if Mr.
To accept, press 1. To send a...
Nah, it was Mr. Tyrone blowing me up. Tyrone, let the people know where you're calling in from and what's on your mind.
My man, what's good, Mr. Michael?
What's good? What's good? How you doing?
Hey, yeah, man. I'm just tuning in live. You had some powerful bills introducing people to learn this indigenous information. And I was wondering when you gonna come hit me up so we can do this interview, bro.
Well, right now I'm in the middle of a move cross country. But before we get into our convo, for the people who are not familiar with you, let the folks know where you're calling in from.
Well, this is Tyron Leung from Charlotte, North Carolina, particularly Gastonia and Muskogee Creek. His background, Yamasi.
Nice.
Yeah, we basically practically cousins. But you from Oklahoma, hey. I'm from the Southeast.
Yeah,
but
not me personally, or rather my ancestors. You know, my ancestors would have been those that got displaced, walked the Trail of Tears, whereas you descend from the ancestors who remained in the Southeast and the East Coast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what's up. Yeah. Still family, though. Yeah. Still family. Now, to answer your question about that interview, probably the week after next week. Like I said, I'm in the middle of moving cross country, flying out from Oklahoma, I think next Thursday or something. So, you know, I got a new unit I'm moving into. I got to get my new studio set up and all that jazz. So probably week after next week. Were you moving
to California?
Not California, but I'll be back on the West Coast.
On the West Coast? Oh, man. You need to come visit the Southeast, bro. Come reconnect with your roots.
I'm planning on it. Don't worry. I'll definitely be making a trip in the Southeast, probably like the middle of this year. Go down to Florida, Carolina.
Down the low country. Hey, get them Geechee people.
I'll pop out and say what's up to my Gullah Geechee folk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Most def. Well, hey, let the people know you've been watching my content for a while. What do you think about all these folks that you see calling in, trying to like debate me on where we come from, or trying to like convince me that we come from Africa? I mean, what are your thoughts on it? Because it is a tale as old as time. I mean, you've seen it time and time again now.
I think these people are institutionalized, and they're scared of listening to new information that doesn't have anything to do with just bigging up Africa all the time. And they're seeing this I Show Speed and Casanat and this what's this other cat that's doing this DNA stuff that's with them. I don't even know his name, but he a social media influencer. These people are literally stuck on like this back to Africa stuff, and they haven't like re-embraced and listen in on their own family genealogy, and it's a lot of work to do. I see it's too much stuff to do, and it's a lot easy to just run with a DNA test. But yeah, it's a brand new day, and that people need to open their minds to brand new information and open themselves up for critique, because there's a whole bunch of flaws that I find with this Pan-Africanism stuff, and it's pretty much unaliving out at this point.
And real quick, the Phoenix over on TikTok said DDG. So fill me
DDG?
in. What did DDG say or do that ties in to the whole I Show Speed African thing?
The DDG character, he was sitting up here saying he took a DNA test, but his relatives said that they're Indian. And he's rejecting that part of himself and just running with this commercial DNA test. You know how like People say that they got cousins in the third or fourth generation that's African, but cannot be backed by genealogical paperwork.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
These are random clusters that they're taking from people that are living and trying to apply this to modern day Black Americans who often hit a wall of slavery. And these companies try and market to us that they can provide an ancestor that was enslaved and shipped over here. But when it comes down to paperwork, it doesn't match up. And when it comes down to population numbers, it doesn't even make any sense because Black Americans have been through an ethnogenesis, and they exclude the Indian parts because they don't include a reference panel for Native Americans. And on the
and real quick, hold on.
American
Shout out to the Phoenix. The Phoenix said the Nigerian woman told him he wasn't Nigerian, and he got mad and told her to walk away from him. Hey, it sounds like typical uneducated Black American shit, right? I mean, there are lots of uneducated members of our community who get a DNA test and believe it's solid, and they'll even speak to an African who's saying, "You're not us, you're not from us, your people don't know," and they'll still, but the white man in his DNA test, when I spit in the cup and sent it in, said that I was Nigerian. I mean, whatever. And actually, yeah, it was one of the possible, yeah. And a lot of people have actually been hitting me up, asking for my thoughts on the whole I show speed thing. I mean, most people don't understand how content creation works. A lot of Africans, for some reason, are trying to use I Show Speed's trip to Africa to somehow be like, see, Black Americans are coming back to the motherland, and we're connected to Black Americans, and they're not delineating after all. I mean, the Africans are really trying to, like, I Show Speed coming there is like Jesus returning or some shit. When they don't understand from a content creator's perspective, especially a live streamer like I Show Speed, he don't give a damn about going to no fucking Africa. He went there because it would be sensational and it would get him views and he would make lots of money. Just like when YouTubers do vlogs in the hood, or they go to O-Block, or they go to the roughest prison in America, or they go to the roughest hood in the favelas of Brazil. I mean, it's sensationalism. Of course, we want to go see some. I mean, come on. What are we talking about? I Show Speed isn't trying to connect with his African roots. He's trying to go film some content in a sensational place, Africa. Why is it sensational to go to Africa? Because y'all ass backwards as a motherfucker living in the Stone Age. Y'all motherfuckers on some old other. Visiting the whole of Africa, anywhere on the continent, is like a wild safari. Fuck going to the actual safari. Fuck going to the actual plains with the lions, tigers, and the bear. Even when you go to the neighborhoods, it's like, damn, what the fuck am I seeing? African pooping in the street, crackhead over here, the kidnapping girl, mutilate, all kind of fuck shit. Oh, and then there's some scamming Nigerians with a couple of ugly mansions with electric fences over down the way. I mean, while everybody else lives in floaty shanty town and sewer villages. I mean, so yes,
we heard it all from the
people in the realm of content. Hold on, people in the realm of content creation want to go do sensational shit. It gets them views. Okay. Before he did his Africa, he's done a bunch of these tours. He just did an American tour. I think he did one where he was in Europe. He did one where he was in Latin America. I mean, okay, but the Africans, but the Africans dick ride us so much that to them this is the biggest thing ever. Oh my gosh, see, Black Americans are coming to the motherland, and really we're like their cousins, and somehow we're related to their greatness. And yeah. You guys have seen it. You guys have seen all the little African YouTube channels talking about I Showed Speed's Africa trip. Come on.
Yeah.
And wait, hold on. And yes, Prop Dan, Speed's dad literally told him they're not from Africa on stream. Yeah, I saw that. He's like, yo, we're not African. And Speed's like, no, like the slave trade, like we all got to be from Africa, right? And his own father was like, nah, bro, we ain't African. Like, hey, it is what it is. But even still, you have to realize he didn't do an Africa tour because he thinks he's African and he wants to connect with some African roots. He did it for clicks and views and engagement. I mean, come on. If I went to Africa and did a live stream, I'd get clicks and views and again. I mean, come on. It's sensational. Everybody loves watching a train wreck. go and do a live stream surrounded by a whole continental train wreck called Africa. It's good for business. But Tyrone, go ahead and leave us with some closing remarks, and then I'm gonna see if anybody else wants to call in, or if we're gonna transition into jumping into the book a little bit or something.
All right, bet. My final thing with the reconnecting people and people combating our own indigenous claims, you also got it with the Native Americans too, because they're afraid of Black Americans in both coming to reclaim their indigeneity, and that they got to share what they got with Europeans penny pinching their own resources and them removing their own people off the res. They got to get whatever they can scrounge up to hoard for themselves, and that's why they're acting that way, because that's historically what they've been pushing. Like, for example, you can watch that movie Killers of the Flower Moon, for example. But I yield the mic there.
Hey, well, thanks for calling in, brother. It's always nice to chop it up with you, and I'll talk to you soon.
Right.
Or actually, if you want, I'm just gonna end the broadcast on YouTube and queue up a new broadcast on YouTube. So actually, you sit tight. I want to chop it up with you a bit longer before we transition into going into a little preview of my book or something. But just stay right there and stay on mute for just a second. To the folks watching on YouTube, as soon as this broadcast ends, it's going to automatically push you into the next broadcast. I'll see you guys over there in just a moment. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Stay tuned. When this broadcast ends on YouTube, the next one is going to start automatically. We'll be back in just a sec.
They don't want you to remember this. You not no slave, you indigenous. Fuck how they painted them Indians. You went to war with the French and the British, man. Quite frankly, you was kings, Merovingians. They took the women and men, made them prisoners. Raised up the children to worship their images. Set up a lab to the genes and they mixed them. And this shit get way deeper than your pigment.